Alright, so I've got Jet is mounting me right now. I'm doing this one first because it's fresh in my mind right now. I should move this way. So when I'm in the bottom of the mount, I'm going to take my elbow. I don't want to use my hand. Like if I start to separate my hand from my body, for one, he's going to go for Kimura right here, right? If I'm like this, he's just going to pin my wrist down and then get that figure four, step up, and go for that Kimura, right? I don't want to do that. And so I'm actually, and I don't want to stop protecting my neck, right? So I'm going to take my elbow, I'm going to put it near his thigh. If I can get close to his knee, I will, right? And the thing is, if I don't do that, and if I start to step on this or whatever, he might slide further back, he might be able to move, he might slide under my elbows, come up into the high mount, right? Now I can't reach that foot. So if he's down in the mid-range or low mount, right, I'm just going to block him from being able to come up into that high mount by just putting my elbow on his thigh, but I'm still keeping my hands close to my neck. I'm going to put my foot on his heel, not necessarily on his foot, but on his heel. I'm going to push it out. I'm not trying to hurt him. This could twist his knee, so we have to be very careful. I'm going to take this leg, straighten it, pop onto my side, keeping my shoulders flat. If I get onto my side, he's going to slide up to a side mount, and then I have to deal with this shit, right? So I want to keep my shoulders flat, so it's going to be harder for him to do that, right? So push, push, straighten, and I pop onto my side, keeping my shoulders flat on the mat, and I get my heel off the ground, because if I have my heel down, he's just going to scooch his foot right back underneath there. So I push, keep my knee on the ground, so he can't get under there, and the harder he tries, the more likely he's actually going to help me by getting over on top. I'm going to cross my ankles, but I'm not going to triangle. I'm going to keep it just my ankles, pinching my knees together. From here, I'm going to flatten my hips back out and scooch them out that way a little bit. So I'm going to get underneath his knee. And that picks his knee up, right? I'm not trying to lift his knee up, because if you wanted to be heavy with that, it would be very hard. But if I move myself over, very light. Now, so he can't just slide it right back down. I'm just going to put my hand right here. This hand's going to go over by his hip. I'm not going up his ass crap. I'm going over here under his thigh. And I'm going to stretch my hand out to the ceiling. And you see I'm on my IT band here, right? I'm all the way up on my side, and I'm stretching out to the top. It's very important when we do this little shuck, right? My legs are going to flop way over here. I'm keeping a little bit of pinch. I don't have to be super tight on this. I'm just going to flop it out to the side, and I'm not grabbing his leg, right? If I grab his leg, I'm fighting against my own body. But if I stretch it out to the top, it's actually going to help move myself underneath him. I'm not lifting him over my body. I'm not pulling him on top of me. I'm actually moving myself from this position, sliding out and onto my side. So I'm the one that moves, not my partner. All right. Block, push, straighten, pop, step, grab, shift my hips, block, straight up to the ceiling, and then I'm going to come out to my own knees, and I'm going to let my knees start to go wide here as I grab his far side leg, put my chest on his hips, and then I just start to bring his knees together as I flop onto his hips here. From here, I'm just going to wait. If he doesn't do anything, I'm going to grab his shoulder, and I'm going to pull myself up to the mount. Step, straighten, pop, step over, here, block, shoot, come out, grab the knees, pull them together, push, and sink into his hips. Now, if he starts to shrimp away, I'm going to let him, and I'm going to just come up onto the top. If he tries to turn into me, I'm just going to follow him around, right? But when he's on the ground, and I'm just completely ripping off my instructor right now. But when he's on the ground, in order for him to move when he's in this position, he has to dig his feet into the ground. If he digs his feet in the ground, he can't pick his knees up, right? If I start to move first, he's going to pick his knees up, and I'm just going to end up on his hooks, or we're going to end up in his guard. But if he starts to move like he's going to shrimp or try to open up, he can't bring his knees up easily, and then I can just move without him being able to stop me. All right, so this is just kind of the deep half escape. The key things I want you guys to really be focusing on in 10 seconds once this play goes. Bye, Flang. So the key things I want you to be focusing on is actually that second half there, because we've done that step over escape several times now. But once that transition from the quarter guard, getting underneath him, and then shucking your arm and getting out the back door, that's the area I want you guys to be really, really focusing on for right now. Even if you don't get to that pulling the knees together and start working on that segment of it, don't worry about that now, because you're still coming out and you're basically coming out to a top 4 quarter if you really wanted to. If you disconnected, grab the hips, grab the legs and hold on to them. You've got a lot of things that you can do there without necessarily having to come into that last section. You can still work on that, but really, really just work on getting that transition out from the bottom half guard.